Hello out there in internet land. This is episode 15 of the Stop the Damn Match Wrestling podcast. I'm your host, Phil Lamington. Sitting to my left is a man who is very happy about Drew McIntyre's entrance on this pay-per-view. And that is Dr. Sheamus. How are you, my friend?
Good, very good. Much better pay-per-views now that someone is no longer in charge.
Yes. How much of an improvement in the WWE product is there since Vince McMahon has been shown the door?
Night and fucking day. Just look back on our previous podcasts and go to what they are now.
Well, I mean, even Raw is watchable now.
Still good to be an hour earlier, but at least it makes all 3 hours tolerable.
Well, yeah, like a couple of months ago, that out of 3 hours, there was probably, I think, 40 minutes of wrestling. Now, out of 3 hours of programming, you get at least an hour and a half of wrestling.
If not more.
Yeah. It's bizarre. Fancy that. Wrestling on a wrestling show.
Shit. And you can actually say that word now.
Yeah, shit. So we just watched the WWE Premium event, aka the pay-per-view, because we're old school and that's how shit happens.
Hey, that name will come back soon enough.
Yeah, like everything else, Papa H.
Thank you, Papa H.
Thank you, Papa H. We just watched WWE Clash at the Castle from Cardiff, Wales. The first proper WWE pay-per-view show.
Stadium event.
Stadium premium event from the UK since SummerSlam 1992, which was 30 years ago at Wembley Stadium.
That's me old.
And they couldn't use Wembley Stadium because the Foo Fighters had it booked for Taylor Hawkins' tribute concert, which I did watch a couple of hours until Viacom or whoever owns MTV put a fucking region lock on it while I was watching it.
Just find another stream of it. You can
Just
find one.
VPN. I got VPN. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. So, Clash at the Castle. It started off with the 6-woman tag team match where it was Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair versus the unit known as Damage Control. Control, like on a keyboard, of Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. Now, all through the match, every time Bayley was in the ring or get tagged in, the crowd would start singing the song that they've been singing when she was in NXT to Bayley. Which,
hey, Bayley.
that one. And you could tell at times, like, she's trying to downplay it, but at times she wanted to acknowledge it in a positive way, like laugh or smile or something, but she remembered she was a heel, so she's like, shut up, stop it. I thought the in-ring action was really solid. Yeah, everyone got their spots in, everyone clicked.
I mean, just look at the names that are involved in that match.
The two particular people that stood out to me were Asuka and Io Sky.
Absolutely.
But they all clicked on various levels. There was the highlight of the match for me was the unusual pyramid suplex where Bianca Belair was hunched over in the corner, and I think it was Bayley was sitting on the top rope, and Alexa Bliss and Asuka climbed onto Bianca Belair's back and suplexed Bayley off her back.
Pretty much using her back as a turnbuckle.
Yeah. But eventually, Dakota Kai hit the big boot in the corner. That does have
Scorpion kick, I think it's called.
What is it?
A scorpion kick, I think it is.
No. That's where she.
That's the hook kick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same kick that Carrie Ann Moss does in The Matrix.
Yes.
No, she does the running big boot in the corner.
But it's such an ugly finishing move.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not.
It doesn't look impactful unless it's sold properly, which unfortunately wasn't, but it's hard to sell that move.
Yeah.
Unless you have like a rubber neck.
Yeah, that's right. So Dakota Kai hits the running big boot into the corner. And then Bailey hit the rose plant. And then Sky hit the her moonsault, all on Bianca Belair. Bailey pins and gets the win for Damage Control.
Get to rule.
What were your thoughts on the match?
I quite enjoyed it. It was a really good opening match. Good to get the crowd going. It was pretty action intense. It was enough to keep you entertained. There wasn't any real low spots. It's pretty high intensity, which is good. Io Shirai is brilliant in the ring. I always love watching her jump around. Shame Johnny wasn't there to watch it.
Yeah, he would have loved the Alexa Bliss spots.
Where are those spots?
Well, only you and I know about these spots because JB wasn't here for it. He's away on assignment, so that's why he's not here tonight.
Indeed. But yeah, all in all, pretty solid opening match.
What would you give it out of 5?
I'll give it a solid 3.5. It's pretty solid. Not the worst, not the best.
Well, yeah, I thought it was a really solid opener. Really set the tone for the evening. And you were talking about Io Sky really... I forgot the words that you used, but Io Sky was like the sort of the MVP of the match. For me, the MVP of the match was Asuka.
Asuka as well. Well, both of them together.
Yeah. I gave the match 4 out of 5. I thought it was just a really great opener and really set the tone for the evening. All right, moving right along. Next match was for the Intercontinental Championship, which saw Gunther, the IC champion, and his reformed faction of Imperium taking on Sheamus, who came out with his
Boys.
His boys.
Are they called Fight Club or something like
Brawl Brothers or something like that.
that? The Mario Brawl Brothers.
Yeah, just as a spin-off, did you know how you've got Super Smash Brothers?
Mm.
Some guy has made a Commodore 64 version that's called Awesome Slam Siblings.
What the hell?
And it actually looks really good.
Well, if you want a decent Smash type game, Multiverses is actually pretty solid too.
Yeah.
It's got
okay.
Warner Brothers stuff in it and a whole bunch of other IPs.
So, every time there's a match that involves Gunther / Volta, you know exactly what you're going to get. It's written on the tin. If you know Gunther / Volta, you know someone is going to get the shit chopped out of them.
They're not going to have a chest by the end of it.
And poor old Sheamus, being the most lily white person.
As a pale person, I can definitely relate.
He chopped the bejesus out of Sheamus.
Now, if you thought Daniel Bryan looked messy by the end of the, I think it was the Royal Rumble where Walter chopped the shit out of him there, yeah, Sheamus's chest was about the same. And his back, too. He chopped his back as well.
He chopped his back, chopped his front, chopped him in the face. he just, yeah. And Gunther was not pulling his punches either. Like
his kicks.
Or his kicks. Like he was sinking them deep. Just KO yourself with the microphone.
Jeez. Thing's hard.
But eventually, Sheamus started belting the bejesus out of Gunther's chest as well. So they both had really red, raw chests. I mean, I haven't seen anything that red and raw since the last time I went to the butcher's.
I thought you'd go somewhere else with that, but
Come on, this is a PG rated show.
Like hell it is.
Yeah, I know. What the fuck am I on about? There goes the PG rating. Gunther did land a couple of really sloppy power bombs, though.
I think after seeing the results of that match, that was on purpose.
Yeah. At the time, it looked really sloppy, but then when you realise that the whole storyline was Gunther targeting not just Sheamus's chest,
His lumbar.
but his lower back, and then when he dropped him for the power bombs, that he was dropping him on his lower back. So,
Whereas a normal powerbomb would hit your upper back.
yeah. Sheamus did hit the Celtic Cross.
Did I? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's called the Celtic Cross.
No. Sheamus?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now I'm with you. Yeah. Look, I've been awake since 4:30 this morning, and we're recording this at 20 to 11 at night. Okay, and I've got to be up again at 4:30 in the morning.
Definitely sucks to be here.
Yeah, got to do overtime. Eventually, Gunther hit one of the most stiffest lariats I've seen since JBL retired.
Yep,
I
definitely.
mean,
agree
it
with
was
that.
so stiff it would have knocked Sheamus's dick stiff. And then Gunther pinned him and got the win and retained the Intercontinental Championship. I gave this match a 4 out of 5. I thought it was, to quote Wrestling with Regret, it was a really great hoss fight. It was just two guys who don't pull their punches, just slapping and tickling and bashing the bejesus out of each other. And it makes a real... In a world of wrestling where, particularly with AEW, where it seems to be a lot of flippy-dippy shit, watching two guys just pummel the piss out of each other, it makes a real stark contrast. And I just thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it did tell a story. And that story was who can get pummeled more than the other person. So I give it 4 out of 5. What do you reckon?
I gave this match a 4.5. It was one of the best matches of the night. One of the best matches of the year, actually. Purely for... Not from a technical standpoint, but from a physical standpoint. That's probably one of the most physical matches, as in actually slapping the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
That I've seen for a long, long time. The only other person that I can really relate that to is Daniel Bryan. He's known for being quite stiff in the ring, and he likes being stiff. But yeah, Gunther is known for being very, very hard in the ring. But Sheamus, being Sheamus, he doesn't give a fuck, which is good. He can hang with him with that. But yeah, not from a technical standpoint like Bryan can be as well, though. From just, a physicality side of things, it was very, very entertaining to watch. Even right at the start, where you had both the teams fighting each other, and you just had Gunther and Sheamus just standing in each other's faces in the middle of the ring. It set a really nice picture for that too, and it looked really cool. Imperium coming together, that has more implications later, which I'm totally okay with, because that trio's team is excellent, and they look amazing. As well as, Butch and what's the third member?
I don't know.
I can never remember his name, sorry, but the three of those guys always look good together too. They actually look like a solid team.
Yeah.
And Pete Dunne Butch sort of leaning back towards his Pete Dunne style is ridiculously good too, which I hope he brings his old name back too. I'm not a fan of Butch. Just sounds kind of weird. But anyway, yeah.
Right. So we get to the next match, which was for the SmackDown Women's Championship. SmackDown Women's Champion Liv Morgan defending against Shayna Baszler. So the takeaways I took from this match was that Liv Morgan can sell really well. Like when she got slammed up against the security rail, that scream she let out, that was just horrifying.
Yeah, and when Shayna had her in various submission moves as well, like the screams sound like she's legitimately going to break her arm off, which, being Shayna Baszler, she probably could.
Yeah. It was a pretty hard hitting match as well. Like these guys were trading submissions, hitting each other hard. You know, for someone like Liv Morgan, you wouldn't expect her to lay in punches and kicks like she did. But then again, I mean, it's Shayna Baszler that she's in there with, so she's used to it. Eventually, Liv Morgan hit the code breaker. They called it the code breaker.
Surprisingly.
And then she hit the Oblivion, got the pinfall and the win, and retains the SmackDown Women's Championship. What are your thoughts on the match?
It wasn't super duper in your face sort of thing like we've been seeing for the past couple of matches. It was a bit of a break kind of thing, which was okay.
It was a filler.
It was a filler match, but it wasn't sort of like what we've been used to with the women's matches being fucking stupid and like 20-second long matches. It had a story on it. You know, she was going to rip her arm off, which she nearly did. But it was a nice... Liv had a nice kind of comeback type style on the gutsy sort of performance, which is good for someone that's like Liv, that isn't, the strongest, isn't known for having, super submission moves, isn't an MMA artist, stuff like that. She's kind of got this underdog, sort of like a Rey Mysterio type vibe, where she's not the strongest in there, but she knows how to try and win.
Yeah.
Which is good for a person like that. It's good to see Liv in the main event too. She deserves it. She's been there long enough. She's been a shit kicker for ages. It's good to see her in the spotlight. But being a women's title match could be a bit more entertaining. Having that in the mid card for a big title kind of shouldn't be like that, but there were better matches on tonight. I gave it 3. Kind of smack bang in the middle.
Well, I gave it 3.5. I thought it was a really solid match. What worked against this match is that this is just killing time until
the big matches.
Ronda Rousey comes back.
Yep.
I mean, most of the storyline for this match, leading up to this match, was Ronda Rousey getting suspended and attacking Adam Pearce and this, that, and the other, which really took away the emphasis off Liv Morgan and Shayna Baszler.
Apparently, Ronda herself said that she's enjoying not being in the title picture at the moment. That she would rather tell stories without the title always being in the focus. Which good on her,
I think, though, the end game is that at the Survivor Series or Extreme Rules, Liv's going to drop the belt to a heel Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, or Becky.
I think it's going to be Ronda Rousey. And then it'll be Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. The one-on-one match that we really wanted.
Yeah, when Charlotte got involved.
Yeah.
Which wasn't bad, though. Don't get me wrong.
It was not bad that she got involved, but you kind of sit there and go, what was the point?
And we got Becky 2 belts.
Yes, we did. Right, moving right along. The next match was the Judgment Day, which was Finn Balor and Damian Priest, accompanied to the ring with Rhea Ripley, versus Edge and Rey Mysterio, who were accompanied to the ring by Dominic Mysterio. The crowd was so hot for Edge.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, sat there and sang Metalingus.
With Edge coming out with a mask on.
Yep. And I honestly have not seen a crowd participate in someone's entrance music to that degree since Jericho came out to Judas, or without Judas, and the crowd sang him out anyway.
Yep. Oh, I mean, Seth Rollins, they do as well.
Yeah. It wasn't as prominent, though.
Yeah.
Eventually, during the match, Edge hit his own 619.
519.
519. And then Edge speared Priest off the apron by jumping through the ropes. And Ray hit a top rope Hurricane Rana on Finn Balor, who was standing on the top rope, and Ray sort of leapt up and flipped him off. Eventually, Ray hits the 619, and then Edge hits a spear. I believe that was Finn Balor.
Yep. Yeah. Pin Finn.
And Edge wins via pinfall. And then after the match, Dominic Mysterio turned on Edge and Ray, and it was revealed on Raw today that Dominic has joined the Judgment Day.
Yes, by kicking Edge in the nuts, poor Edge, and clotheslining the absolute shit out of his dad.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to see them do something with Dominic,
Definitely.
but I don't think Dominic is great in the ring. Like he's good, but he's not great.
No, he's not great, but he's young. He's very young, but he has the skills to become good. Like, think early Orton. Early Orton wasn't the greatest. He was good, but he wasn't the greatest. I like to think Dominic's sort of like that. And that give him time and experience with that time, and he's just going to get better. I mean, we haven't seen him as a heel yet, so, sometimes all it takes is a person to try one side, try the other, see that he's good as a heel more than a face, and takes off from there.
Well, I gave this match 3.5. I thought it was really solid. There wasn't anything technically wrong with it, but it wasn't, other than a couple of things like the crowd chanting, singing along with Edge's entrance music and a couple of little spots. It really wasn't that remarkable a match. It wasn't generic. It was a little bit more substance to it, but not a hell of a lot.
Other than right at the end, that was about it. After match.
Yeah. So I gave it 3.5. How about you?
I'd agree with that. 3.5 as well. It was again right in the middle. It wasn't the greatest match in the world from any party.
It was just a tribute.
Absolutely. Gotta believe. But all of those competitors in the ring are good performers. But yeah, it just wasn't the greatest performance from them all. There was nothing spectacular. Like some of the moves, like the 619 into the spear was really good. That was really flowy, and the camera angle was brilliant for it too. But that was really probably the highlight of that match, was right at the end.
Yeah. All right, so the next match was a grudge match between Matthew Riddle and Seth freaking Rollins. So Seth's entrance showed off his attire for the night. Honestly, he looked like Curry Man from Impact. For all those keeping score at home, Curry Man was Christopher Daniels. I was even doing the Curry Man dance in my seat while he was coming out. I was so inspired by him. It had a really intense opening stanza of the match. I mean, they were sinking punches in and really going for it, which really helped the story and really backed up all the storytelling that was building up towards this match.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but this was one of the matches where it had a brilliant lead up to it. Where a storyline really helps a match like this so much. This is what we've been missing for a long, long time.
There was one moment, though, where Seth freaking Rollins did a dive through the ropes, and it looked really sloppy. Like, he hit Riddle, but it sort of glanced off Riddle, and then Riddle had to oversell actually getting onto the commentary table.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it just looked a little bit naff.
Yeah.
Eventually, Seth hit the coup de... He hit his version of the coup de grace while Riddle was in the middle of the Tree of Woe in the corner.
He's done that a few times now. I've seen from the Tree of Woe.
Riddle was nice enough to hit the GTS,
Which was actually called to go to sleep from Cole as well.
and then what we see the next day after All Out, AEW All Out, I'm sure it's another thing that just pissed off CM Punk.
I was going to say, if he wasn't pissed off already this week.
Oh, we'll save that for the AEW episode because, there's some curry on that, man. Seth Rollins hits the pedigree, but Riddle kicks out. And then eventually, Seth Rollins hits a super stomp and then wins via pinfall. What would you give this match out of 5? What are your thoughts?
I gave this match a 4.5, very close to a 5-star. It was an excellent match. A great lead up to it, a great story. It felt like it was it wasn't a shoot, but it was like a forced shoot.
It was a Vince Russo shoot.
Yeah, exactly. It was
a worked shoot.
a work shoot. Don't shoot yourself into a work.
You work yourself into a shoot.
But yeah, it was very, very good. Super physical in the ring. Actually showed off a lot more of what Matt can do when he's actually got a good story behind him. You can already go in the ring, and he's one of the best wrestlers that they have right now, and one of the guys that can just keep going and going and going and going like Brian can. I keep relating to Brian because he's regarded as one of the best wrestlers of all time. Still is. But yeah, this match shown off both of what those competitors can do. Both him and Rollins is always amazing in pretty much every match that he's in. He's been in the business for, over a decade now and has been excellent since.
I think my problem with Seth Rollins is I think he needs to update the character.
Absolutely. He's kind of getting a bit stale with
this
his
whole
over-the-top
This whole Joaquin Phoenix version of the Joker routine really is... It's stale.
Yeah, he needs to kind of get something different.
And it was the same with his wife, with Becky Lynch. Like, her character was so stale.
Yeah, the man needs to either come back or she needs to change the character again.
Yeah. I think she is bringing the man back when she comes back from her injury, though.
I hope so.
I gave the match 4 out of 5. Yet, oddly enough, it was not my match of the night. And I'll explain my match of the night when we get to the final scores. I thought it told a really good story, though, and it matched the intensity of the storytelling going into it, which is something that gets forgotten sometimes. A prime example of what I'm talking about would have been Triple H versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania 25.
It's another one after he rocked up at his house.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the match was just two guys having a wrestling match.
Yeah.
After all the intense story building, and sure, they just had to go on after Taker versus Shawn Michaels.
Which, good luck trying to follow that up.
Yeah. But it was just, they rocked up and it was just a wrestling match. There was no intensity behind it. Whereas this one, it lived up to the storyline. Like, these two wanted to kill each other. And it made really interesting viewing. So then we get to the final match. the WWE Undisputed World Heavyweight, WWE, WWF, WCW, ECW, IBF, IBA Heavyweight Championship of the Universe World title belt. The WWE Undisputed World Heavyweight, WCW, WBA, WBF,
Stop.
WWF champion Roman Reigns defending against Drew McIntyre.
Drew.
And the crowd got a massive pop, or popped really hard, if I should actually learn how to speak. Because Drew's entrance saw like a little vignette type of thing with his old entrance music of Broken Dreams.
Instant 5 stars. I don't give a fuck what the match was like.
So Dave Meltzer sitting beside me. It can only go higher from here. So that was great, bringing that song back, though.
I've been waiting for so long.
You know who else has been waiting for so long for that song to come back?
Who?
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, that theme suits Drew so much, even now. Like, you know, that being his dream to represent his country, in his country, for the title. That's kind of like his main massive dream.
Well, the crowd was very much behind Drew, expectedly, despite the fact that it's Wales and he's Scottish, but
Close enough.
it's close enough. Yeah, it's the UK.
It's not America. Close enough.
Yeah, close enough's good enough. They're all the same people, aren't they? They all speak English.
British, Australian, the same people, aren't they?
Yeah. Kiwis, Australian, they're the South Africans. They're all the same. At one point, though, Karrion Kross was in the crowd and distracted Drew McIntyre, which then led to Roman Reigns taking control of the match. It did seem in places like they were stalling for time, though. Particularly at one point where Roman asked for a microphone and asked Cardiff Wales to acknowledge him. At that point, I was sort of sitting there thinking, they're stalling for time here. Because when this match started, there was still an hour. And when you start doing things like that, you're either stalling or you're ahead of schedule in your match. Eventually, though, Drew hits Roman with a claymore that also takes out the ref.
God damn it, little Nate.
And then what? And he took out the ref, which was Little Nate. And then as soon as that happened, Austin Theory's music hits, and he comes running out with his Money in the Bank briefcase, and is trying to cash it in when he gets clobbered by Tyson Fury, professional boxer Tyson Fury, who was in the crowd, clobbers Theory.
If you haven't seen the clip, please watch it. It's fucking hilarious.
And he fair whopped him.
He just knocked the fuck out. That's off camera. Like, you don't see Fury stand up. All you see is just a fist come and clock him in the face.
And then the camera turns and it's Tyson Fury. You're like, it's Tyson Fury. But that was actually a real highlight of the match for me, was seeing Tyson Fury just whop him. Like, every time he tries to cash in, he gets thwarted in some way.
It's actually a good way to use that, the Money in the Bank contract. It's not super serious like a lot of them have been. It's actually more for a comedic role, which is a good way to use it. More entertaining.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot better than the 24/7 championship.
The what championship now?
Yeah, well. Eventually, Drew hits the Claymore and goes for the pin, but then coming up from NXT is Solo Sikoa, who pulls the referee out. Solo Sikoa is the younger brother of the Usos, which means he is the third child of Rikishi, which means some lady mounted Rikishi at least twice
But
to
he's
get pregnant.
He's a bad man.
Yeah, he did it for The Rock. He did it for the people.
I did it for the kids.
But after that, Roman Reigns hit the spear. He only hit like 3 spears in this match.
And only like, I think, 2 Superman punches?
Yeah, that's got to be the restraint on the man. Because normally that's all he does is Superman punch, Superman punch, Superman punch, spear, spear, spear.
Johnny would have been getting bored.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns!
And Roman Reigns retains the WWE Undisputed World title via pinfall. So I'm going to go first here. I gave it 3.5 out of 5. I honestly think they could have cut at least 10 minutes out of this match. The stalling was a little bit annoying. My constant complaint about Roman Reigns is he needs more moves in his arsenal.
Yep.
I mean, he's got less moves than Hulk Hogan did back in the day.
And that's saying something.
And, I mean, like, John Cena was able to mask the fact that he only had 5 moves of doom.
Hey, he had the springboard stunner.
Good Lord. He also had that ridiculous leg drop off the top rope that always overshot and missed.
Yep.
It's like John Cena didn't really care that he looked more fake than a Kenny Omega match.
Hey,
Oh, come on.
don't you shit talk Kenny Omega.
Hey, come on.
Hey, you don't
Ke-
shit talk
Kenny
Kenny Omega in
Omega.
my presence.
Kenny Omega is a very athletic man. He can do flippy dippy shit and he's in the ring, performance-wise, he is very good. But he can't tell a goddamn story. Much like the Young Bucks. And we keep saying this. You and I keep going back and forwards on this because you love them. And I'm just sitting there going, it's just flippy dippy shit for the sake of flippy dippy shit.
Hey, they're always impressive, though.
Until it comes time to actually tell a story, and then they can't because they don't have personality in their characters.
Watch BTE.
If you're not putting it on in the ring, then I'm not going to know. But like Roman Reigns needs to expand his moveset.
Absolutely.
And to be honest, if he wants to expand his moveset, do suplexes.
Yeah.
Regular.
Brock Lesnar can do them. You can do them.
I don't mean German suplexes.
No.
I mean like a front face lock overhead suplex. Yeah, something simple to go along with the rest of his simple move set.
And it's not like he doesn't have people he can ask. His family are all fucking wrestlers.
Yeah. I mean, add the Rikishi driver.
Like, you see him do a Samoan drop every now and then. Use that more often. He's
Yeah.
fucking Samoan. You can use it.
Yeah.
A headbutt.
I mean, it works for Samoa Joe.
A headbutt. He's a
Yeah,
Samoan.
well,
His
it-
head's made of fucking
Yeah,
concrete.
it works for Samoa Joe. I'm not joking. Like, Samoa Joe does the headbutt and the Samoan drop. He also does the muscle buster.
Not anymore, he doesn't.
True. He also does the no-sell walk away when someone's on the top
God, I
rope.
miss
too.
that.
That is just mwah.
I miss Samoa Joe.
Well, he's the Ring of Honor television champion. He just returned on,
He just came back.
yeah. But, yeah, I think Roman Reigns needs to expand his moveset, and I'd like it if Roman Reigns would do a match, like a big-time match, that didn't have the bloodline constantly interfering.
Yep.
I just want to see Roman Reigns win a match on his own steam, but do nefarious things within the confines of that. Like, take people to Dick Kick City, or use a chair,
Yeah,
or
just
use
like
a title belt.
your typical heel stuff.
Yeah. Instead of it just being, he gets by because another member of the bloodline comes in and pulls the referee out.
Makes him seem weak.
Or the Usos come out and say "Us" about 5,000 times, and no one outside of America can understand what the bloody hell they're saying in their promos.
Hey, yo, Oos. Boogada.
Yeah, we are the ones. Like, or Sami Zayn interfering. Yeah, it's or Paul Heyman when he's around interfering. Yeah, I just want to see Roman Reigns be a heel without the other interference. But I mean, they could have cut 10 minutes off this match and thrown the stalling out, and it wouldn't have affected the match. You wouldn't even notice it.
Mm.
So I gave it 3.5 out of 5. What are your thoughts?
5 stars.
Just purely for broken
Purely
dreams.
for broken dreams. I don't give a fuck. I waited so long for that theme. It gets my 5 stars straight up. It doesn't get any extra stars purely for the fact that there was quite a few dead spots in this match. There were better matches that were on in the night. It was still good, don't get me wrong. There were a lot of good points in the match. The crowd was red hot for it behind Drew, chanting his name pretty much the whole entire time. Hell, it would have been great if he won, but I get why they're not, because they're saving it for one of the big names like Survivor Series or even Mania for Reigns to finally drop his title. But it would have been sick to see Drew win in his hometown and the crowd go absolutely ballistic. I mean, seen it when bloody Murphy won in Australia.
Yeah.
How ridiculous the crowd went.
And that was just the Cruiserweight title.
Exactly. Yeah. Hearing Broken Dreams and seeing that they managed to put that mixed in with his current theme in Raw. That's now his permanent theme. I'm so okay with that.
So, out of 5 cheese graters, what would you give this pay-per-view?
I give it a solid 4. It was a pretty good pay-per-view.
Yeah, I give it 4 cheese graters as well. Obviously, you're going to say the match of the night was Riddle versus Rollins.
Yes. Yes, I would.
For me, match of the night was the IC title match.
That was a close second for me.
Gunther versus Sheamus. I think because it was a bit shorter.
Yeah.
And also, it was just 2 guys brutally slapping the shit out of each other.
Yep.
It was something unique.
And Imperium.
And, Imperium and the Irish boys.
Fellas.
Yeah, those fellas. It was just something unique in terms of a match, and that sort of put it above the other one for me.
Mm.
But overall, I think it was a really good show, and I think what Papa H is doing with the company, like bringing back a lot of guys, and the quality of the programming.
And their first names.
Yeah, bringing back their first names, wanting to tweak gimmicks back to how they were when they were in NXT. All the things he's doing really are working towards WWE being the number one place we want to work again.
Yep.
And everyone seems to be enjoying it a lot more. Everyone seems a lot happier. And it comes through on the TV, whether it's Raw or SmackDown or the pay-per-views, which seems like a very sort of stark contrast to what AEW is now. I know we'll go more into it with the AEW episode, but I mean, you've got CM Punk picking fights at a media scrum after a pay-per-view and going after the guys that are the EVPs of the company, and Colt Cabana.
I mean, Colt kind of did.
This is the guy who's supposed to be your world champion. He's supposed to be representing your company.
That being said, with Colt, he kind of did deserve it after the shit he pulled.
Oh, yeah. But I don't think Punk should be sort of discussing it in a media scrum.
There's a time and place for it, yeah.
Yeah, it's called professionalism.
Yeah.
And to have Tony Khan sitting right beside him and letting him do it, you know, do it backstage, do it in private. You got something to say it to them. You know, it just makes you look bad. It makes your company look bad. And particularly at a point in time where your opposition is really starting to look good because they shed their dead weight.
Mm.
Now is not the time to be doing it. But that's a story for next week.
Yes.
Look at what's going on in WWE, though. We've seen Karrion Kross and Scarlett return and being used properly.
Johnny motherfucking Gargano.
Johnny Gargano is back. He has his first match on Raw next week.
Can't wait for that.
You've got Braun Strowman returned today.
And he's looking like an absolute fucking unit.
And you know what? The funny thing about Braun Strowman is he is the big guy that WWE needs.
Yep.
He is the big guy who can go in the ring.
Because they don't have any big guys.
Omos, the master of the catch-as-catch-can wrestling style, the greatest big man who ever lived, who dwarfs Andre the Giant.
And here I was thinking we were going to go an episode without mentioning him.
Yeah, but I know I'm sitting here being sarcastic about it. Omos sucks.
Oh, absolutely.
I know he is JB's second favorite wrestler behind Roman Reigns and Goldberg. But my God, he is abysmal. He makes Giant Gonzalez look good. And that's bad. So having Braun Strowman, and I mean General Aziz or whatever his name is he even still around either?
I am not sure. What happened to bloody shit, who was he?
Apollo Crews.
Apollo Crews.
He's back at NXT.
Oh, he went back to NXT. I was wondering what happened to him. He just disappeared.
Yeah, no, he went to NXT 2.0. Sorry, I had to acknowledge Adam Wilborn from What Culture with that. I mean, they don't listen to us, so I don't give a shit, but I could steal his gimmick. Yo, if anyone listening to this, get on the What Culture Wrestling YouTube videos and just spam them with "Go listen to Stop the Damn Match," just so that they can acknowledge us,
Why?
like Roman Reigns.
Here's why.
His Simon Miller and his why. Here's why.
We love you, Simon.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Give me an up.
Yeah, Apollo Crews is back in NXT. So is Ricochet.
Yes, which I'm okay with. Fucking,
Yeah.
He needed to go back there because he was good for the first few months when he was in the company in Raw. But then they kind of didn't know what to do with him.
I think that both him and Apollo Crews going back to NXT is the way of rebuilding their stock so then they can come back onto the main roster and really do some damage.
Yep. Give Ricochet a manager.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys that needs a manager because he didn't seem... Either that or the creative just didn't know what the fuck to do with him. If they can put him in a direction or give him a manager to put him in a direction, he'll do very well because he is fucking incredible in the ring, what that guy can do.
I actually think with Ricochet, do what WCW did with Goldberg. Don't let him talk.
Yeah, just have his actions prove his words.
Yeah.
Or speak for him.
Yeah. I think that would work a lot better.
Yeah.
But, like Johnny Gargano is back. That's really going to turn things around.
Especially when Tommaso Ciampa is there too.
Yeah. And you've got Raquel Gonzalez and Aaliyah.
As the women's tag team champions.
Women's tag team champions. You're starting to get some tag teams forming, like Alexa Bliss and Asuka.
Yep.
They're actually pretty solid in the ring.
You've got Imperium now.
You had Dakota Kai and Io Sky.
Yep. And
Bailey with Damage Control. And apparently still you've got Sasha Banks and Naomi coming back soon.
Yeah, so you got a lot of female tag teams coming back, and you also got some male ones coming back too.
Yeah. And you still have the draft. But apparently the draft has been postponed until after WrestleMania.
Which, fair enough. with Triple H coming back, a lot of people are going to be coming back to the company. A lot of people are going to be coming up from NXT.
Because apparently the draft was actually supposed to happen next week. But Trips has gone, no, we'll leave it until after WrestleMania and we'll refresh the rosters after WrestleMania.
Yeah, which is when the draft should be really after Mania, so then it can refresh and kind of shake things up.
Or if you're going to do that, if you're going to refresh the roster, December.
Towards the end of the year, yep.
That way you can refresh the rosters and refresh who's going in the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
But I like what Triple H is doing with the company, and it's all going in the right direction now.
Absolutely.
And with the new guys coming in, apparently Bray Wyatt is coming back soon. And now that it looks like Malachi Black has been released from AEW.
He wrestled it all out, though.
Yeah, and then what they didn't show was after the match, he stood on the entranceway and blew a kiss to the crowd. And he has asked for his release. So the rumor is he has been granted it.
Okay.
Which means he'll probably come back to WWE. It was mental health grounds, his relationship with his wife, and he wasn't happy with how he was being booked.
I mean, fair. Yeah, fair.
So, if he doesn't feel like he's being utilized properly, ask for your release and go back. There's nothing wrong with that. And, I mean, he can be on the road with his wife.
And Cody's in WWE, so he can resume his storyline with him.
Yeah. When Cody comes back from his injury.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot going on. You've got Kevin Owens is making some rumblings.
Yes.
As the prize fighter, but the babyface prize fighter, which I like.
Absolutely.
So there's so many things going on, and even with the commentary, like we were talking about it during the pay-per-view, like Michael Cole seems to have a new lease on life because he doesn't have Vince McMahon shouting in his ear.
Something that we're missing tonight as well in commentary is Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
What was he?
He probably just didn't make the trip because we had the same three commentators all night. So.
Yeah, I think it was just limited people on the trip. Fair enough.
Yeah. But, I mean, his commentary was missed. But, that's okay.
Cole is still brilliant now to listen to.
Corey Graves is okay as long as Carmella's not in the match. And apparently she's injured, but she's coming back soon.
Well, Corey and Byron are a really good combo. I do like those two.
I just think that they need to put Carmella away from Corey Graves.
Yep. So he doesn't have his nose up her ass.
Yeah.
As nice as that may be for him.
I know, like, they're married or whatever. They're together. But we kind of don't need it rammed down up our sphincter every 2 seconds.
Maybe he's into that shit.
Oh, good for him. But, it's all looking on the up and up. And if I was AEW now, I would be looking over my shoulder.
Absolutely.
Because,
Sorry, dying over here.
yeah, no, that's all right. That's been the last couple of podcasts for me. I felt like I was dying. And I'm the host of the bloody show. You've got it easy. I've got to keep prattling on, and then you occasionally cough. But the direction of the show, see what I mean? These things happen, kids. The directions of the shows are a lot better. The storylines are a lot better. And I'm starting to get the sense that the talent aren't getting scripted promos.
They actually, have freedom now, which is why I can't wait for Bray to be able to come back, because he's so good when he has freedom.
If they're going to bring Bray back, I think they should bring back Eric Rowan as well.
Yeah.
And have some kind of a Wyatt family, but be
Braun's
completely insane.
Braun's there, so.
Yeah, that's right.
Have him replace what's shit
Harper.
Thank you, God. I could see his face, but I couldn't remember his
Yeah.
name. Jesus.
I'm so used to calling him Brody Lee.
Yeah, I was about to call him Brody Lee, but that's not his name. WWE. Yeah. Have him replace
That's not
what
my
Up was.
name. That's not my name.
Oh, that's what you didn't mention at the end of the show.
Oh, the sing along. Oh, well.
Random end to the show is a sing along.
Yeah, they're in
Tyson
Cardiff and they're
Fury.
singing American Pie.
Yep. Tyson Fury.
You know,
and-
the funny thing was when he started singing a long, long time ago, I was waiting for him to say "In a Galaxy Far Away." It starts singing "The Saga Begins" by Weird Al Yankovic.
I thought Drew was going to kick him.
Yeah, well, he was going to punch Drew.
I thought it was going to end one way or another there because he shook fucking Reigns' hand as he went out.
Yeah, give us the Austin ending.
Yeah.
It's like an episode of Scooby Doo. You pick which ending you want. You want the Scooby Doo ending. Diddle-loo, 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 diddle-loo. I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you pesky kids. Let's do the super happy ending. Diddle-loo, diddle-loo, diddle-loo. Go watch Wayne's World.
Body time. Excellent.
Diddle-loo, diddle-loo. All right, so that was WWE Clash at the Castle, and I was thoroughly entertained by it, despite the fact that I'm super friggin' tired. So next week we're gonna do AEW All Out. We'd do it a bit sooner, but we have lives.
Yeah. Work, kids.
Oh, got a funeral to attend, band stuff. Yeah, it's action packed. But we're gonna do All Elite. Hopefully, JB will be back on board. We might have another special host as well. And Shay might have a microphone that doesn't keep twirling around and around and around and around.
Thanks I get for using Johnny's fucking mic.
Yeah, don't use JB's mic, man. Your mic's over the other side.
I'll have a present in it for you.
I used to gig with that mic stand too. But so next week we're going to do AEW all out. If I don't splutter to death. And we'll be able to go in a little bit more in depth about the entire CM Punk situation and the various other machinations that are going on with All Elite Wrestling.
Indeed.
So, but this week, thank you for tuning in to Stop the Damn Match for the Clash of the Castle review. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like the video and all that other stuff that these shameless shills on YouTube sit there and flatulently prattle on about. And thank you for tuning in. And on behalf of Dr. Seamus and myself, it is goodbye.
Bye.